Hello, this is Clive Hook, introducing another Think Spot designed to get you to stop and think for a few moments, usually about 5 minutes or so, and reflect on a topic that we know will be useful to you. You could always go on and learn more about it, but this is a way of getting the headlines. We call it learning for people with a brain to catch. Today we're looking at learning itself, and the thing that many people, including learning designers, often seem to forget. Not what they're trying to teach, but where they want learners to get to. When you start developing a piece of learning, it's easy to just jump in and start writing the content, slides, video, etc. The most important thing, though, is to be absolutely clear on where you want your learners to be at the end of the learning. This is the learning objective. This is the destination. Not how they're going to get there, but what it will look like when they've arrived. And that objective needs to be as measurable as possible, so you and they know if it's been achieved. This is what Benjamin Bloom and his colleagues were tasked with doing way back in the 1950s. They were trying to find a way to measure the achievement of learning objectives, a way to measure progress so that you could definitively state where someone had got to, perhaps even how smart they were. They decided that there were 3 types or domains of learning. Cognitive, which is about thinking, problem solving, and intellect. Affective, which is about emotions, psychology, and feelings. And psychomotor, mechanical or craft skills, doing things. They're all quite different, of course. They all require very different skills. At that time, and still to this day, we put a high value on the cognitive skills. It's our most common way to measure smartness. We think people that win TV quizzes are smart. It's not the only measure at all, but we'll use this to demonstrate the hierarchical approach to learning objectives, the fundamental foundations of learning design. So, when we're in the cognitive domain and we're designing and building a piece of learning, we're developing someone's ability to work with concepts, theories, and ideas. Think about a topic like strategy. It's not emotional, something you can feel, or made of something solid that you can assemble. It's a way of thinking. The learning objective, then, should measure how far their thinking has developed when they've completed the course or lesson. A note on the word taxonomy. It's a list or collection of things, but with an order or hierarchy. In this case, we're working from lower to higher order skills as we go up the pyramid. Lower level objectives are less complex or advanced than higher level objectives. Staying with our idea of strategy, if we were to write a level 1 knowledge learning objective, we'd probably expect that our learners were aware of the word and its general meaning. At level 2, comprehension, we'd expect them to be able to do more than just know the word. We'd want to test that they understand what strategy is about, perhaps where it's come from as an idea, and how it's used in military contexts, in commercial organizations, and maybe not-for-profit examples too. So far, though, we don't know if they can actually do anything with the concept of strategy. At level 3, application, you'd be developing a piece of learning and a way of testing that they can apply strategy. Coming up with a business idea and developing an outline strategic plan might be one way. If they're going on to higher things in the world of strategy, we probably want them to be able to really understand the elements of strategy, the different types of strategy, and how these are put together to create an effective business plan. That's a level 4 analysis learning objective. Levels 5 and 6 were, by the way, the other way round in Bloom's original hierarchy. Today, most of us acknowledge that synthesis is a higher order skill than evaluation. So at level 5, you can look at a number of strategies, compare and contrast them, and identify which is best. At level 6, we enter the world of original thinking. Instead of comparing existing strategies, your learners can demonstrate that they can invent, create, and develop a new approach. The essence of a lot of business today, coming up with a whole new way to succeed in the changing dynamic marketplace. So before you start writing your course or lesson or thinking about how to develop your people, ask yourself where you want their learning to get them. What's the destination? If you say something like, I want them to think more strategically, be clear about what that means. Do you want them to just be able to get on and apply your given strategy, or do you want them to create and develop their own? Two very different objectives. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope this has been useful. This is Clive Hook from Clearworth. See you again soon, I hope.